Katie, the Celestial Homebody, and today we're doing something a little bit different, and I am going to let a roulette wheel choose what I crochet this week. If you're anything like me and have Crochet DD, you have a list of projects that you want to do and a list of yarns that you want to use, but you just can't make up your mind what you want to start on. That's how I came up with this concept. I've actually been doing this for months, even before I had a YouTube channel. I use this wheel spinner to determine what I make. So today we are going to spin the wheel 5 times, one for each day of the work week. And each day I'm going to crochet whatever the wheel lands on. So without further ado, let's see what fate has in store. All right, first spin, here we go. What do we got? A rubber ducky. All right, let's do it. So I found this free pattern on Instagram for a rubber ducky, and I have had it saved in my Instagram saved for forever. And I was like, I don't really know who would want to buy a rubber duck. I mean, they're super, super cute. They look fun and easy to make, but I wasn't sure if there was a market for it. So I have not made one, but since the wheel told me to make one, I actually made 2. And I think what I'm going to do is advertise these as Jeep ducks. You know about like Jeeps getting ducked, right? People leave like the little rubber ducks on their car, like their driver's side handles. And then, you know, you've seen them around, the Jeeps with all of the ducks on them. How fun would it be to advertise these as like the big ducks, right? I mean, because look at these things. How fun to put that on your dash. Yeah, I think I'm onto something. So I'm going to advertise these as Jeep ducks. So I made 2. And the first one that I did, I miscounted, I think. Here's something about me. I will very, very rarely stop to actually count my stitches, especially if it's on a like quick pattern like this. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm busy watching TV or getting up in between and tending to my baby and whatnot. So I never actually count my stitches. This is one time when it didn't work out for me. Normally it's fine. Normally if I'm off by 1 or 2 stitches is not the end of the world. But look at how short his body is with his little tail feathers. Also his head is kind of crooked. That's just because I put the eyes on wrong, and I did the eyes before I did the beak. So yeah. Also, I think if I remember correctly, the beak they said to sew on. It might have been a no-sew pattern, but I think it said to sew it on, and I crocheted mine in. So that was less work for me. So I was like, ooh, I was off by a few stitches on that one, but that's okay. I did another one and he came out a lot better. So this one's a little short and squatty, or tall and lanky. This one's short and squatty, but they did turn out super cute. On these guys, I use the Bernat Baby Blanket Sparkle. This one's yellow, and I just use scrap yarn for this. By the way, side tangent, it is one of my pet peeves when people call it Burnett, like E.T. Burnett, like they're talking about Carol Burnett. It's A.T. Bernat Blanket. It's not Burnett Blanket. Sorry, that's the teacher in me coming out. Anyways, so I've got 2 rubber duckies. Yay! All right, let's see what the wheel wants us to make next. Okay, spin number 2. What do we got? Big money, big money, big money, big money. Oh, cinema roll. Oh my goodness. Okay, this one's going to be fun. Let's go. Okay, spin number 3. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Unless you've seen this video before. Then you know. Oh, a Totoro on a swing. I've never made these before. Okay, I was super excited to make some Totoros on swings because I have never done the critters on swing thing that everybody's doing for markets. And I will say after doing this one, I don't know that I'll be doing any more. So I batch made these because I wanted to make a couple of them for markets, especially for Comic-Con. I feel like a Totoro would sell really well. So I made all of the bodies, then all of the belly patches, and I assembled all of them. And then I just did one swing. And I made this swing, and I don't know, I just didn't have fun making it. I think it's probably because I was working with chenille yarn. And then if you've ever gone from working with a chenille and like a 6mm hook down to like a 2mm hook cotton, it feels very weird. And so that's what I did, because I wanted to do the chain in cotton so that it would be nice and sturdy. I know that most people actually use like the chenille, like the Parfait Chunky or whatever for the hanger, but I don't know. I just wanted something sturdier. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I should try a chenille and then I won't hate doing the swing as much. But so I just put one Totoro on a swing, and then I just have 5 other just Totoros just like this by themselves. So I might just sell them on their own, or maybe I'll decide to put them on swings, but he is pretty darn cute. Look at him swing, whee! I ran out of this gray. This is Parfait Chunky in the color Seal, and I used up all of my yarn making the Totoro bodies, and I forgot that I needed extra yarn to do like the wraparound to make it look like they're holding on to the swing. So I only had enough yarn to do this one anyways. So I don't think the other ones are going to be getting swings, if I'm going to be too real honest with you. But he did turn out very, very cute. He leans forward just a smidge. He's just belly heavy, but you know what? I can relate, so I don't diss him too much for that. The pattern for the actual Totoro was free on Instagram. I'll link it in the description below, of course. It wanted you to obviously make the arms separate, which I didn't do because I knew that I was just going to be sewing them on here. And then it also wanted you to make the ears separate, like little tubes, and then sew them on. And I was like, I'm batch making these. Ain't nobody got time for that. So I just finished the body and then did a slip stitch on my hook and did essentially a picot stitch. So you chain 3 and then slip stitch into the first chain and then slip stitch back into the body. So I just did that for the ears, and that was a heck of a lot easier than having to make a bunch of little tiny ears and then sew them on. Plus, I think for the ears, they wanted you to do 4 in a magic ring and then a couple rounds with the 4. And I can't do that. I can't do a 4 in a magic ring with like 3 rounds. No, it would just be a disaster. Oh my goodness, especially with chenille yarn. Who are they kidding? I don't know. But I so humbly call myself the queen of no-sew, because if there's a way to make it a no-sew pattern, I will make it a no-sew pattern. So that's what I did with this guy. I did safety eyes on him and then just added a little bit of white around. And if I had had a darker gray, I would have done darker gray for his nose, but I had to do black because this is the darkest gray, the Seal color that Parfait Chunky makes. And I didn't have any other gray that was darker than this, just in any chenille yarn. So I did black, but I think it turned out okay. And then for his belly patch, of course, it's white. And then I embroidered the little arrow, the hair tufts, if you will, onto him. And instead of sewing this on, I actually hot glued it. And I have never, ever in my life hot glued crochet items, because when I sell them, I want them to be like really high quality. And to me, I just feel like gluing is just like the quick and cheap way of doing things. But because I knew that this was going to be hanging in a car and this was not going to be something that was like fondled, I hot glued his patch on. But for all the other Totoros that are not on swings, I have not assembled their belly patches yet. But if I just leave them as is, as just little egg guys that like people can hold, I will be sewing on their patches and not gluing them. But if I put them on swings, I'll probably glue them. So I also glued his swing to his butt as well, so that there was no chance of him coming off of there. And I think when I get some more gray yarn, I'll probably do another little, just a little tiny like tack right there and right there. Or I could probably do it with the green actually. So that way he doesn't lean forward as much. I feel like he needs just a little bit of help staying straight up. But overall, he turned out very, very cute. And I think I want one for my car. Spin numero 4. What's it gonna be? A berry Pop-Tart. All right, so this little guy, I just free-handed and I gave him a friend. So we've got the berry Pop-Tart, like the wheel told me to do, but then I also did a cherry Pop-Tart. And I recorded a tutorial. It's on my channel if you want to know how to make these little guys. And I think that I might put like keychains on them, but like the lobster claw keychains to make them like backpack buddies. Like I would have loved this in middle school to like put a Pop-Tart on my backpack. How fun is that? So yeah, I did that one. He's got a little like straight across mouth. And then this one's happy. That one's happy. So she's cherry, he's berry. Together they're, I was going to say cherry. I was going to combine their names, but that would just be cherry or berry. So never mind. Anyways, they're my Pop-Tarts. All right, next. Okay, and our very last spin. Give us something good, something big. We've been doing a lot of small things. Okay, it's another small thing, but that's okay. Some Peep Chicks. These are going to be fun. Ooh, I'm excited to pick out the colors for these. All right, Peep Chicks. Yay or nay? That's our question of the day. Do you like Peep Chicks? This one is very divisive. It's just like candy corn. Either you love it and you embrace it because it's that season to enjoy the candy corn or to enjoy the Peep Chicks, or you hate them and you just think that they are pure sugar, which, to be fair, they are. I personally love Peep Chicks. I don't eat them all the time. I will only eat them during like the Easter spring season. And I always feel like I need to eat like an apple afterwards because they leave a film in my mouth of sugar, but I will still enjoy a Peep now and then. So this was a free pattern on YouTube. Oh, he's got a little green fuzz on him. This was a free pattern on YouTube, and I don't know how he turned out. I feel like he should have had like, should be more like this. You know what I mean? Maybe I will sew, like put a string up through the bottom and then wrap it around here so it kind of pinches it a little and then bring it back out the bottom and tie it off. So that way he's a little more squatty like that. I mean, the shape is definitely there. You got the beak. How they do the beak is actually really interesting. It didn't take too long. I'd say it took about 45 minutes, but I was watching the video and having to pause it and go back and do this. I was really excited to do this Peep Chick in lots of different colors, but I honestly didn't really have that much fun with it. The tutorial had one of my crochet icks where instead of saying like increase, they say 2 single crochet, like in parentheses, meaning like in the same stitch. I hate that. It confuses the heck out of me. Just say increase. Or instead of decrease, it's 2 together. I don't know. My brain does not compute that for whatever reason. So I did not have that much fun making this, unfortunately. I was planning on doing like a line of pastel Peep Chicks, but I don't know. I also don't really have any markets that are, I have a couple that are in the spring, but none of them are like appropriate to be selling Peeps at. Like my first one in the spring is Comic-Con. So I don't know that Comic-Con people will be looking for it. Like, I feel like this is for more of like a little farmer's market or something like that for the little kids. You know what I mean? not for something like a Comic-Con. And then my next springtime one is a Ren Fair. So again, it doesn't really fit the vibe of the event. And then everything after that is after Easter and into like summertime. So I'll be done with that anyway. So I just did one. So he'll probably just go in like my $5 bin, maybe $8. He is pretty big. But he's just going to be a little one-off peep chick. So there he is in all his glory. So here's the grand finale. Those are the ears. So the reason that I wanted to leave the cinnamon roll for last is because this girl was high maintenance. This took me probably 8-9 hours to do. And here's the thing is, I made this so unnecessarily difficult for myself because I could have just done a normal free cinnamon roll pattern, but no, I had to be bougie and I decided that I wanted to put my cinnamon roll in a costume and a onesie that looked like a unicorn. So this is what she looks like. So part of what inspired this is I have this Big Twist Posh variegated pastel and I love this variegated color and I have never used it on anything like big. I've only used it on like little like stress pets and things. So I decided that I wanted to use it on her and then I was like, what could I like do with this? And I figured with the colors, it would be fun as a unicorn because it's, you know, pastel rainbow. So I made her this little hood and it has a little unicorn horn and snoot. And of course, all of the rainbow hairs, and she's got some hair on her tail as well. And all of the shades that match the variegated. And I made her holding a star. So she is humongous, but I think she turned out really good. I feel like her chin is a little big, but I don't know. By the way, I did not use a pattern on her. I freehanded her. I figured her head was just a ball, which is essentially what I did, but I think I kind of stuffed it weird because it's, or it might just be the hood that's creating that illusion. Well, maybe I put her face too high. I don't know. Her head is just a ball, and then her body is essentially just a ball as well. And then her arms and legs are just like magic rings with a couple of rows with a few decreases at the end. Same with her ears. I mean, she wasn't hard to do. I did her first ear, and this is Big Twist Plush, by the way. And I used a 8mm hook on it. And I did the first ear because I wanted her to be big, but I was like, whoa, that's like humongous. And so I said, you know what? I'm already going to make her big. Let's go ahead and make her fancy too. So this is not going to be a cheap item at my booth, but you know, she's a good showpiece for sure. This is the first time I have ever used felt and cut out felt, and the light is making her look dirty. I promise you she's not dirty. And have used actual blush, rouge, if you will, on her cheeks, which was very nerve-wracking because I didn't want her to look like she had her red light turned on, if you know what I mean. But after putting some on, I took a paper towel and kind of like diffused it a little bit, so hopefully her cheeks aren't too rosy. And then I just freehand cut the eyes in her mouth. I mean, I have a Cricut over here, but I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered with wasting felt and setting up the Cricut to make them the right size and everything. No. Maybe if I had a template that had it like the right size already, I'd be okay using my Cricut, but no, I can't be bothered with that. I would have liked to have it so that her hood can come down, but because I freehanded this without a pattern, I couldn't figure out how to make the hood with like ear slits. So I originally made her head and I crocheted her ears in, but then when I was doing the hood, I was like, how am I going to make the slits and make them in the right spot? I just didn't have the bandwidth to figure that out. So I very gruesomely cut out her ears and then had to whip stitch her head back together because her brain was exposed. And then I restitched the ears on top of the hood. So the hood does not come down, unfortunately, but that's okay. I'm still happy with how it turned out. I decided to do the star because I felt like it was a lot of the variegated, like right there on the front. So it just adds a little extra something cute too. And I was like, what could a unicorn hold? I was like racking my brain, and I was like a rainbow, but her hair's already rainbow. So I just did a star. I think it's just cute and simple. I decided to do purple since she didn't have too much purple going on besides just that one strand of hair on her mane and her tail. So she will be a nice showpiece at my booth, I think. So there you have it. A week of crochet determined by a wheel. Let me know if you enjoyed this concept, and I'd be happy to do another crochet roulette for you. And don't forget to answer that question of the day in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's right there. Click on it. Click on my face. Do it. You can do it. Click on that face. Subscribe. All right, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!